All right, so now we're ready to wire this up. But before we do that, I want to take a little time to talk about the different types of pickups and the different type of leads they have. So let me start with the most common kind, and that is the four conductor. And this is what we're going to be dealing with here. This is actually a SUR pickup. This is a Doug Aldridge one. This is actually a good sounding pickup. It's kind of like a JB, like a Seymour Duncan JB, but just kind of mellowed out. Actually, probably sounds more like an '80s version. They use pretty much, if I remember right, they use pretty much the same color codes as Seymour Duncan as well, with the red and white being the center tap, and the black being the what would go to the ground, which would be like the south finish, and then, or I'm sorry, the green being the south finish, and the black being the north start. I believe I got that right. I can't remember. I might have that wrong, but anyways, the when you have a four conductor, what you have here is you have one wire, which let's just say the green, will start here, go through through the one coil, come out, and let's say it's the red wire, it goes here, then attaches to the next wire in this coil and gets wound up that way, and then comes out and be the black. Okay, well, these wires here are attached in the center. So this in the center there, the white is attached to the end of the one coil, and the red is attached to the other end of the coil. So we tie them together, and then you have the both pickups together. So, and then what you do is, if it was like Seymour Duncan, you would put the shield, which is this bare wire, okay? That's called the shield. And then you have the south finish, and then you'd put them together, and they would go to ground, the black go to hot, and this would be your center tap. So if you wanted to split this pickup, you would drop this to ground with the push-pull pot or a switch, but typically we do with the push-pull pot. And then what it does when you do that, the hot comes in, goes through the screw coil, and then goes through here to ground. So basically this coil here will not see any of the voltage coming in. It's a very low voltage, the hot signal coming in. It would just go in and then out the ground, and that'd be it. So basically this, typically it's a screw coil with most pickups. That is the hot one when you split it to what we call drop the center to ground. It's called, you're splitting the pickup. Uh, some pickups, like there's some fenders, which would, if you take this to ground, it actually kills this pickup and makes this one live. This is what we call the slug coil, and this is a screw coil. So that's the basics of a four wire. Here's a three wire here. This is our Lindy Fralin, our super shredder pickup. This is the way Lindy sends it to us, where it has the red and the white. It's a three conductor. With Lindy, the black goes to ground, white goes to hot, and red goes to the center. So with these, you just have one wire going to the center, where the four conductor, we had two wires. So basically on this pickup, the wires between the coils are attached together inside here and attached to this red wire coming out. So that's why we do it. That's why they do it. What we do with our super shredder pickup is we take Fralin's, what Fralin send us, and we attach a black, a white, and a red, a little heavier gauge. We shrink tube it so it's a little bit easier to work with, and then we label it neck, so that way you know the orientation of the pickup when you put it in. So that way, because we use double screw coils, so you'd know which screw coil would be the one would be hot. So, and then if you wanted to switch it up, let's say, this is the hot one, this is the neck. So, let's see here, yes. So this would be if you split it, this is the one to be hot. But let's say if you wanted it to be this one, just reverse it. It'll work just fine. So, anyways, that's those kind there. And then here's an early PRS 5708. Notice it doesn't even have the script on it. I got a couple sets of these, and they're really great pickups, and they split really well. But you can see on this one here, it has a single conductor lead, like you normally would have on the old pickups. Then it has this white wire. This white wire is actually the same as this center tap wire, so it's grabbing the center of the two coils. So it just runs a separate wire. Here what we have is the this is a little tricky attaching these. On this one here, we'd soldered the a black wire to the shield, so that way it could go in the terminal along with the hot. So you can see it's a pushback wire there. And now this is called a shield. All the pickups have a shield. On our pickup, we solder the shield and south finish together, so you just have one wire, so you're not have to mess with two like you normally would, like on this one here where you have the bare wires, the shield, and the green. And then on this one here, once again, you would have the black and the shield together on this Lindy Fralin pickup. So all the manufacturers use different colors. Some of them are pretty standardized. On our drawings, we use Seymour Duncan because the majority of our customers, that's what they're installing, is Seymour Duncan. The DiMarzio, they use green, red as the hot and goes to ground, and then the white and black are tied together for the center. But we have a chart on our website, cross-reference charts. Just Google, you can find it there as well. And that way you can see what wire colors you would need, basically for basically your pickup design. And you know, if you don't find anything, email us. You know, I've gotten to be pretty good at trying to find them. And you know, there's some stuff that's just kind of, you know, some pickups are kind of crazy out there as far as what they use for wire colors, especially some of the fender stuff, humbuckers. You know, it varies from year to year on some of them. So anyways, that's kind of a basic overview of the different types of connectors or wire conductors on pickups. So one of the things we do, this is this will be a single conductor. It's not attached to anything on the other end, but like say like a Gibson style where it's just single conductor. Sometimes P90s you'll see with this, where it's just the braided end, just like we've seen on the PRS pickup, same thing. I think some of the old DiMarzios had them as well. So typically what I do is I push back. See how it kind of like an accordion, it just kind of, let me get it over here. So when you push it back, just kind of hold it here and push it back, and then it kind of, now you got your lead out here, and you got this part here. So what I'm going to do is cut it here, just kind of carefully get my wire cutters in there. Just kind of cut a little bit, just carefully. Yeah, so I cut about 1/4 of an inch there. And I'm going to take it off to the side here. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of pull it, so you're going to pull a lot of stuff off there, but you're going to have a little bit here left over. I'm just going to twist that together, okay? And you see it kind of tapers. I'm going to cut off just a little edge so it's more squared off, as you can see there. Just more squared, so it's not the taper anymore. And basically what I did is I made that so that that'll fit into a terminal. Now I'm going to strip this end. Now this one here, you notice it's a lot of them when you push on it. Let me show you, like on this one here, this is typically what you're going to find. When you push back, you're going to have a bare wire, and that's what you want to see. This one here is probably the worst case scenario, where when you pull back, we got another coating on the wire, which is kind of a pain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push back on this cloth. I want to carefully strip that away. There we go. So I stripped that away. So now we got that. We got the bare cloth, and we got our ground. So now attaching this to the terminal, you can see it there. So typically what I would do is try to line it up. Let's say I'm going to do this one wire to the 500K. So I'm going to twist these wires, twist these, okay? Now what I would do, just to make it easier, say this is going to be the end, so I'm going to go to this dead terminal. Let's say this is open, okay? I'm going to go to that dead terminal, get my little ass screwdriver, back it out. Let's see if we can see there. Back it out. because sometimes during shipping, these terminals will close up. So make sure you back them all out. The screws aren't going to fall out. I mean, they're in there. I mean, if you, they're not going to come out. These are really high quality terminals. We buy them from Phoenix Contact. They're used on machines all over the world, airplanes, you name it. I first started using them in the 80s when I was working in manufacturing, doing CNC retrofits. Some of you may or may not know what that means, but so I'm going to put this in there. See, I'm kind of like, I got it bent. So I got them both in there right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten down the red terminal. So if you can see there. Now when you tighten, don't push down because it's not going to make a difference. Once you get the screwdriver set in the slot, just twist. That's all you'd have to do. You don't push, just twist. I'm going to tighten up the ground. Now I have it on a dead terminal, and I did that on purpose. And the reason why is because we want to save room on the black terminal, which is our ground terminal. So now I have it on there, but this is not attached to ground because it's a dead terminal. So now we have to put a little jumper wire, but I went ahead and tightened it down anyways because I want it to stay in place. Okay, so I'm going to get a little black wire. So I'm going to take this little black wire here. I'm going to strip it back a little bit. Okay. Usually I just strip it about 1/8 of an inch. And now I'm going to loosen up the ground terminal. Now that I tighten it up, sometimes the wire gets stuck at the top. I'm just going to push it down with my my screwdriver a little bit, just to loosen it up in there, because sometimes it'll come up. And now I'm just going to take this wire, I'll slide right in, just kind of twisted it in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and tighten up that terminal. Right. Sometimes it's nice if you can just get a hold of the pot like that, and then tighten it up. All right. Yeah, I think we're in there now. Yeah. Now I take this one and I take it to a black terminal. So now take it to the black terminal and then it'll be connected to ground. Might have been a little easier if I would have cut that ahead of time and stripped it. That's all right. So I got it in there. Whenever I put a wire inside a terminal, I always tighten it down, regardless of whether I'm going to put more wires in there or not, just because I want to, you know, hold it in place. You don't want it to be, if you just put everything in there loose, you know, I don't have to crank it down tight. I just want to just get it in there just snug, just so I know it's not going to go anywhere. And then that way, so that's how you would hook up the a single conductor pickup. Now you see that it's moving there, but it's not the wire. It's actually the cloth over the wire. So that's how I recommend hooking up the single conductor cables. So, all right, we're going to take all this off. I'm going to back screws out all the way. When you back them out, you'll hear them kind of click. There we go. And there we go. Let's pull those out of there, set those aside.